Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'm going to cover the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Update 89 edition, issue number 5. Continuing our coverage of the Update 89 series of the handbook, we have a wonderful cover by Ron Frenz showing us most of the individuals who will appear in this issue, which covers Marauders to Princess Power. Let's dive in. We don't have much front matter here. We've got a little cartoon. We, of course, have our contents and artists. The inker of all the figures and heads and everything else in this issue is Joe Rubinstein. And I may have to flip back to identify individual artists. The more I compare, toggling back and forth between who's who in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, the more I think I've grown to prefer the who's who format, the style of it, the fact that artists are credited on the page that their art appears on, but also the montage of action sequences in the background. But I love all these handbooks, so it's going to be a fun one. Let's dive in. We start off with the Marauders, whose first appearance was in X-Men 210. And we have some great artwork here by Mark Silvestri, who was going to become the X-Men regular artist not long after the first appearance of the Marauders. I think it happened in X-Men 217, maybe 218. But so yeah, we have our Marauders team. Vertigo, Malice, who was possessing Polaris's body at that time, Scalp Hunter, Sabretooth, Arclight, Blockbuster, Harpoon, Scrambler, Prism, and Riptide. And their first appearances vary. Of course, Sabretooth's first appearance was Iron Fist 14, that Immortal issue. They mostly first appeared in X-Men 210 or 211 with a few other exceptions. Moving on, we have Louise Mason. This is a John Byrne piece. She was a She-Hulk supporting character. And I think real name, Louise Wheezy Grant Mason. I think this character is kind of a tribute to Louise Simonson because Byrne was pretty good friends with Louise and Walt Simonson. And yeah, fun character. Her first appearance was She-Hulk second series number 4. Master Menace is our next character, and he was a foe of the Squadron Supreme. Great artwork here from Paul Ryan. Real name, Emil Burbank. First appearance, Squadron Supreme number 7. Great action sequence here. I think that might be John Buscema. And Master Menace was kind of the Squadron Supreme's version of Doctor Doom. He didn't have any known superhuman powers, but with his battle suit on, Master Menace increases his strength to an unknown degree. And he had a number of weapons hidden in there as well. He's your basic super scientist, super villain. Next up, we have Master Mold, drawn by Walt Simonson. Really great piece here. And Master Mold's first appearance was X-Men 15. And then his current form was X-Men Annual number 7, which is a book I have covered a number of times here on the show. That's that amazing annual featuring a Roger Stern script and a John Byrne, Bob Layton art pairing, which is just amazing. Next up, we have Max. First appearance, Comet Man number 1. He's an alien character who showed up in that Comet Man limited series. And that's artwork by Kelly Corvese. Then we have Megan, really cool, visually stunning character, member of Excalibur. Great Alan Davis artwork here. He created this character or co-created her. And her first appearance was New Mutants Annual number 2. And she is a shapeshifter and has a lot of different interesting powers to go along with that. Next up, we have the menacing Mr. Jip, drawn by Brett Blevins. Really cool. His first appearance was Strange Tales, 3rd series, number 11. And he appeared in a host body in Strange Tales number 8. So he would be used more heavily in the late 80s, early 90s as kind of a horrific villain. Yeah, he's got superhuman strength and some other powers to go along with them. And we do get some cool artwork from the actual comics in this official handbook, which is nice to see him drawn by some of the other artists who were working at the time or in the past. Next up, we have Mr. Sinister, a very popular villain of late, especially because of X-Men 97, the animated series from Marvel. His first appearance was X-Men 221, and real name unrevealed. Occupation, Mastermind. Great artwork here by Mark Silvestri, I believe, who was, again, the X-Men artist. And then we get some Walt Simonson action panels here as well. Mr. Sinister possesses superhuman strength, the limit of which has not yet been revealed. The exact nature and extent of Mr. Sinister's superhuman abilities are unclear, but he does have them. And he was kind of like a Swiss Army knife type villain. He could pretty much do whatever the writer wanted. Next up, we have the Molten Man with artwork, I believe, by Eric Larson. First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 28. So really a surprisingly old Marvel character, a storied Spider-Man villain, if you will. Real name, Mark Raxton. Molten Man possesses superhuman strength, able to lift press 40 tons. So he is a true heavyweight. And of course he has the damage field, the fact that he is on fire and touching him can be extremely painful. He has a number of powers related to that too. We have one of my favorite late Bronze Age, early Iron Age villains, the Mongoose. First appearance, Thor 391. Great artwork here by Ron Frenz. Mongoose possesses fang-like razor-sharp teeth. It has not been revealed whether these are the natural or artificial in origin. And he can lift press at least 10 tons. He also possesses superhuman strength. In addition to his superhuman strength, he possesses superhuman speed, agility, and resistance to injury. Yeah, here he is giving Thor the business. Great action sequences by Ron Frenz. This little panel here, really cute, really cool. Nicely included there. Next up, we have Moon Boy, drawn by Colleen Duran, I believe. His first appearance was Devil Dinosaur number 1. And we have some great Kirby panels showing Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy in action. Next up, we have the Naga, real name Naga, occupation Despot. First appearance, Submariner number 9. And who draws the Nagas? I think this is Richard Harris. Let me see here. No, Mark Bagley. Okay, Mark Bagley coming in. And he's always tied up with Serpent Crown related stories, the Naga. Next up, we have the Nanny with a really curious looking character, well drawn by Walt Simonson. First appearance, voice only, X Factor 33, visually, X Factor 34. So, yeah, Nanny's just some kind of cybernetic or robotic organism. Next up, we have Nastir, which is, I believe this is drawn by Ron Wilson. First appearance, Exterminators number 1, origin, New Mutants 71. And strength level unknown. I'm sure he has superhuman strength. He's a demon. Nastir has a natural affinity for wielding magical forces. So yeah, he has all the powers you would think a devil would possess. Next up, we have Foggy Nelson. First appearance, Daredevil number 1. Really, think about how long Foggy Nelson has been around as a character. Pretty storied Marvel character. Gregory Wood is our artist for that one. Next up, we have Kate Neville, drawn by Keith Pollard. Her first appearance, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 3. And she doesn't have any superhuman powers. Next up, we have one of my favorite latter-day Marvel teams when I was reading regularly, The Night Shift, by one of my favorite lesser Marvel heroes, led by one of my favorite lesser Marvel heroes, the Shroud, and here he is pictured. I would have loved to have seen The Night Shift get their own limited series, if not their own book. How about a 4-issue miniseries? Man, if somebody would do that today in the Bronze Age style, I would be all over it. So good. The team consists of Shroud, Werewolf by Night, Brothers Grimm, Gypsy Moth, and Tatterdemalion. They have had their own entries, so the folks that get new entries here are Misfit, Needle, Digger, Dance Macabre, and TikTok. So Misfit is one of those power broker experiments gone wrong. He's super resilient, can lift press 10 tons. The Needle can hypnotically paralyze a victim with his gaze. Digger possesses the normal human strength of a man of his height, age, and build. I guess he just carries a shovel. He's a rather strange character. Older character, too. Tower of Shadows #1 is his first appearance. Dance Macabre. She showed up in that SpiderMan Marvel team-up issue with the Shroud. She was and I guess it's eventually how she hooks up with him. First appearance, Marvel team-up '93. And next we have TikTok. And TikTok is a mutant who can perceive various possible futures, diverging within the next 60 seconds. The sharper his focus on a particular future event, the more likely it is to occur. So that's a cool power. Kind of the Night Shift's version of Destiny. They're just a cool-looking group of characters. I would have loved to have seen them carry their own stories. They first appeared as a team in Captain America 329, and that would be one definitely worth sharing on the channel. And this figure work is from Mike Harris and Company. So artist Mike Harris, and maybe with help from a few others. Next up, we have Dakota North. First appearance, Dakota North #1. Mark McLaurin drew her. Next up, we have Menace, drawn by John Bogdanoff. First appearance, Power Pack 51. So toward the end of Power Pack, this character shows up. We have the Orphan Maker, who went right along with the Nanny, and you can tell that's Walt Simonson power armor right there. He drew this. First appearance, X Factor #40. Harry Osborn. I believe that's Eric Larson. Let me just check here. Yep, Eric Larson drawing Harry Osborn. And Harry Osborn's first appearance had to be very early on. Amazing Spider-Man 31. So this is Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin's son, Harry, who unfortunately would take on the guise of the Goblin more than once, picking up his father's mantle. Next up, we have Karen Paige, that Daredevil love interest, drawn by Ron Wilson. Her first appearance, Daredevil #1, so very storied and old character. Then we have Mike Harris drawing May Parker, Amazing Fantasy 15, Origins Spectacular Spider-Man #4. So we get some May Parker coverage here. If you ever wondered, May Parker is 5'5" and weighs 110 pounds. Next up, we have Paragreen, real name Alain Racine. First appearance, Contest of Champions #1. He was basically the Falcon. He basically has a flying harness. He's a master of savate, the French art of kickboxing, and doesn't really have any other superpowers, but a fun-looking character. Always like the visuals on Paragreen. Then we have Persuasion. This is the daughter of the Purple Man, Kara Kilgrave. And her first appearance is Alpha Flight 41. And who is drawing this one for Persuasion? Ron Lim. Ron Lim, all right. Next up, we have Rich Buckler drawing Alexander Goodwin Pierce. First appearance, Nick Fury versus S.H.I.E.L.D. #3. Another of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent characters. I love this particular villain here. Plasma, her first appearance, Marvel Comics Presents #24. Plasma is a mutant with the superhuman power to absorb, ambient cosmic energy into her body cells, where it is transformed into destructive energy. This also allows her to change her size and increase her strength to superhuman levels. Really just a visually really cool character. I love the Ankh, which kind of is related to Havoc's origin and his tie to the Living Monolith, who is an Egyptian character. I'm pretty sure it ties in there. It's been a long time since I've read this Marvel Comics Presents number 24 story to get her origin. That's like Terry Shoemaker art here in the action panel we get. Next up is Poison. Real name Cecilia, last name unknown. First appearance, Web of Spider-Man Annual number 4. Poison is drawn by Kelly Corvese. And then our last 3 entries are all drawn by Ron Wilson, including Dr. James Power, father of the Power Pack kids. First appearance, Power Pack number 1. Margaret Power, his wife, also first appeared, Power Pack number 1. And then really lovely rendering here of Power Princess from the Squadron Supreme. First appearance, Defenders 112. I have that issue. Need to share that on the show. That multi-part story with the Squadron Supreme and the Defenders is awesome. Origin, Squadron Supreme number 1. Yeah, this is a newer uniform. This is what she was dressed in the Squadron Supreme Maxi series. She also has a cool helmeted version. I wish they would have included one of those panels from Defenders 112, but they don't. Power Princess possesses superhuman strength, enabling her to lift press about 20 tons. She can also fly and has a super hard shield and is resistant to injury, and she's a consummate unarmed combatant. Very cool character. Basically a powered down version of Wonder Woman for the Marvel Universe. And they have some data corrections here on the inside back cover. Anything of note here? Let's talk about Deathstalker, who's that visually stunning villain who I believe is on the cover of the first Frank Miller Daredevil. Daredevil 157, I think. Deceased Deathstalker. Elizabeth Dawes Sterling, the Deathstalker's deceased mother, should be listed under known relatives. Okay, so this is just some corrections on the Deathstalker entry. There's also some evidence that Deathstalker possessed superhuman strength, but its extent is unknown. So Martin Campbell from Pensacola, Florida, sent that info in for the corrections. It's cool that the fans are credited with these data corrections. It all makes it a community thing and makes people feel part of the Marvel Universe, and that's what made Marvel so successful, even during this latter, post-Jim Shooter stage of their existence as a comic-producing company. But yeah, so that's it. That's the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Update 89. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.